Hello, Dracul and micronational community. Chancellor Luke coming to you with Dracul monthly updates for April 2023. Thank you very much for joining us today. And happy Easter as well for those all around the world. We're going to start off with our first topic today. It's going to be over trade. The Dracul trade agreements have relaunched with other micronations. Most of the items requested are ID cards and tea and raw honey. We usually have Texas raw honey directly from the farm, not processed, no preservatives added. If that's something that you'd be interested in, certainly let us know. If you're interested in establishing trade, either imports or exports with Dracul, contact our Department of State. The email address is DOS, as in Delta Oscar Sierra, DOS at draculgov.com, and we'll be able to help you out with that. See, you can either pay via cash money, or you can have equal value in what you're trading with us. So either one is acceptable form of payment. His Royal Highness Jacob, the Prince of Dracul, is to now have a virtual installation due to his work schedule. This has been a rather tedious, rather difficult thing for Dracul to try and be able to figure out since January. We've been trying our best to accommodate him. We wanted to do it physically at first because, what not better of a way to bring in not just a new monarch, but a monarchy, a change of government, by doing it physically. But unfortunately, uh, due to his work schedule, there's like a short staff problem, so they're having to require the employees to cover more shifts than usual. That's where we're currently at. So it just would make it easier to do it virtually. That way we can get it out of the way and get him in officially, and go from there. And then hopefully in the future, when everything starts to die down and things start to change for him schedule wise, we can have him at in-person ceremonies to make up for that. So we're trying to get a date and time planned. Hasn't been planned as of yet. We keep trying to put dates, or months on his installations, but as you know from the past, it never works out because we have to just continuously keep postponing over and over again. So I would say sometime in April, but again, don't hold us to that because that might not work out either. So I would say anywhere between April to June right now is what we're currently looking at. And with it being a ceremonial role, it's not required that it must be filled now. It'd be nice if it could be filled, but since it's a ceremonial role, it doesn't have to be instantly filled. It's not, an urgent matter requiring immediate assistance. So that's another thing that's kind of allowing us, because we have the government of Dracul that runs things, and that's currently in operation. So that's what's helping keep the country going. So we'll try to get that resolved and brought to you as soon as we possibly can. The Dracul army opened up enlistment last week. And so those who are interested in joining the Dracul military can do so by visiting our website, draculgov.com, and clicking on the military service option on the front homepage. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the option for that. Great things about working with the Dracul military. You get to meet a lot of interesting people, especially those of leadership quality, people who want to become leaders, people who were born leaders. You get to work on various different assignments for protecting the community. And I know a lot of people say, well, what do you mean by protecting the community? It's just micronationalism. Well, There's actually a lot to it that goes into that. It's not just, simulating certain things. We have had a lot of attempts at data breaches, and hacking into like email accounts and whatnot. Not sure if they're coming from the macro world of just hackers in general, or if it's from other micronations trying to get information and say that, yay, we did this. So, we're going to say that we pulled one over on Dracul. We haven't had any breaches. We've had attempted breaches, but we haven't had any breaches. But well, it doesn't matter if it's micro or macro. We also have to have our own form of data security. So that's one of the things, intelligence in the military. And not only that, but we use different simulators, on all consoles like computer, Xbox, things like that. That's more of a team building exercise, but it brings the military together to actually work on something, keeps things going in the military. And then, of course, we have our Prison Military Academy, which we also use as our boot camp for learning things like leadership skills, the proper way to be a soldier, understanding rank, military history, and things of that sort. So, we did definitely have something good going on there, and certainly enjoyable. And then, of course, when you're with us long enough, you'll be able to get a Dracul military uniform and wear it, either at events or just, for photo ops or just to have. The Dracul Civil Protection is reopening for those interested in a law enforcement career. So, if you're interested in learning how law enforcement works, prosecution, arrests, things like that, collecting evidence, things along those lines, enforcing our laws that are already on the Draculian books, that'd be a great thing. Me being a former police cadet in the macro world, I still have all of my curriculum from the police academy that I can share with those who are wanting to actually learn real law enforcement training. It's great for those who are interested in a macro law enforcement career, but not only that, it's just, it gives somebody a career, gives them something to do, be able to give back to the community and whatnot, something unique as well. We don't really get too many charges on people in Dracul, knock on wood. So it does remain relatively quiet along those lines, which is a good thing. But we always want to have somebody around. And speaking of civil protection, we did open up um, our telecommunications position, which is basically the same thing as a 911 dispatcher. We do have a 911 dispatch console software that does update live time. So you can take in non emergency 911 calls, police reports, those types of things in the Dracul community of those who want to report things. Um, and so that's pretty cool because when you update in the database, if there's any civil protection officers, um, that are on duty and logged into the system, it automatically pops up on their end. They can actually click on it, read the case notes, the call summary, and everything, and accept it and respond to it, contact the person. We really went out of our way a couple years ago when we developed the software. So it's actually really, really neat how it works. We are searching for a Secretary of State to engage in trade agreements and relations with other micronations. So, if you really want to make your mark in micronationalism and meet other micronations on behalf of Dracul and establish great relations and trade and learning how diplomacy works and how to speak with others and use proper titles and styles for in people's names. Uh, it's a great opportunity, because you get to serve a well-known micronation within the community. Um, so apply on our website, draculgov.com, if you're interested in that, because it would be a great opportunity. Our last Secretary of State was in the position for about 3 years, I want to say. So it is something that will definitely keep you busy, and it is something that is respected for many of those around the micronational community. Regarding news with KBRN over at Dracul One, they did reach an agreement with Synthesia IO, which is an AI technology company. That's basically who they use to produce their weekly news reports with the AI avatars to deliver the news. Makes it a lot more cost effective. You don't have to worry about scheduling people to film and then be able to release that film and do all the edits and everything along those lines. You don't have to worry about people flaking out and not showing up to do the job or sending in the video of that week's news. It just makes it a lot easier. There was a policy change. Apparently at Synthesia, they've been having a large number of their users abusing their programming, using it in defamatory ways, making videos using their AI actors' images, because they're real people. They're real people, but their images are saved and pasted onto the AI. So they become what are originally real actors. They're turned into, converted into AI avatars, their images. And it's damaging. It's very damaging to their reputation when someone comes along and says, they make a video using an avatar of a real person, and then they send a video to someone saying a bunch of threats to them. Well, now Synthesia and that actor's image is involved in that, and they just didn't want to have to mess with it. And then there's also people making fake news and things along those lines that they didn't really like. And we basically told them, you either allow us to continue to use your basic plan, because it's the same technology that your corporate account is. But you want us to upgrade to our corporate account just to declare ourselves news for $400 a year. We're not paying that. We don't make that type of money to justify that kind of an expense. And we said, so either you allow us to remain on the basic plan as an association, or we're going to have to leave because that's something we're just not going to afford. And we negotiated and were able to maintain the basic plan at the regular rate, without having to leave or pay the $400. So they definitely were willing to negotiate to keep us. So the AI content for the news will definitely continue. So I'd like to thank you for joining us in April for the Dracul monthly updates. We'll see you next month in May to talk about more of what's happening. And thanks again for joining us on our programming, and have a great rest of your month.